Hey, y'all. I'm kind of hoping I can get through the gist of this without any loud motors riding by, tractor trailers, and you know how I be doing. But I got part two for y'all. Um, it's not the whole part of part two. I'm not. I can't give y'all the whole thing because of platform reasons, but it's coming. I just need y'all to stay with me. Um, I don't have my sculpture painting that I had last time. I got to get some more paint. That's neither here nor there. I'm sitting on my lovely porch this Monday afternoon, and this is long overdue, and it ain't nothing to it but to do it. So, without further ado, let's get into part two. Oh boy, I'm about to start middle school. And my dad doesn't spoil me as much since we moved. But it's cool. Guess I'm a big girl now. Without a clue of how the hormones of this chapter of my life are about to play out. I started spending more times at mom's place. And as far as I know, grandma was MIA. My mama didn't say much about it. Something about religion. I really don't know. I hope she's still living. Dang, I haven't even been to church in a while, and I'm starting to notice the closeness in family slowly go out of style. No more plum tree pickings with my favorite cousin, and that was one of my favorite things to do. No more staying out after the street light with the safety of someone still watching you. No more teaching me how to fly. No more songs on the porch at night. Though Dad would always be my main man, the donor God sent to help create my light. No more tomboy. No more childhood joys. Wow, I'm really 13. Cake and ice cream. Celebrating a win without the team. 'Cause I remember lots of family gatherings at my dad's house, but our family would never be that close again. I started learning a little more about my mom's side. I recall several reunions. 'Cause my mom is a daddy's girl too, and I love my granddad just as much as my pops. I love going to Chapel Hill, North Carolina. Love being in the country, trailer parks, golf carts. My other brother's family was from around that way too, and he spent most of his time with his dad. But I got plenty memories of us together. He taught me how to tie my shoes. I remember a time my mom made us go in separate rooms, supposedly because the toilet didn't flush. And we had to pee, so she gave us a cup. I didn't think she ever told us the water was off, but I knew enough. Yet still, that wasn't abnormal to me, because I didn't know enough for it not to be. Now, see, Shauna was no slouch. Even though times were hard, she always kept a job. She's where I got my whoopings. She's where I got my heart. Yes, sir. My mama made me bold. You see, I call her Shauna, but I've done that since I was years old. Never caused us any drama. Respect was just the same. She was my mother in all regards. I just always called her by her first name. And now that I think about it, it was years before I called my dad. He was Vaughn for quite some time, yet still the best and only dad I ever had. Not sure why it was like that, though. Maybe I just got my way. They did used to call me Boss Hog. My big cousin gave me that name. Now, moving along into this teenage phase, middle school was cool. I tried to stay on the stage. Second loudest on the cheerleading squad, third in track and field, acting, dancing. I didn't have much chill. I guess I always wanted to be doing something. See, I was bullied from elementary. I didn't start fighting back till 7th grade. Threw a chair at the last who sent for me. I was really a lover, though. I really wasn't a fighter, in a sense. Didn't want to hurt you, just wanted to demonstrate my strength. Remember those days in the yard? Daddy got my arms right early. But I ain't want to come off like that. Most times I was just goofy and girly. I remember my mom, she let me have my first boyfriend when I was in the 7th grade. She'd meet the parents, and boom, it was a play date. Shauna was cool in that aspect. Adults had to be present, yet she was still really strict. She was definitely whooping some ass. My mama was with all the shits. I was the baby on her side, and I thought I'd be the last kid until she had my little sister. Now, I'm just a middle bitch. Yep, I said it. Hell, I was just surprised as you. Did my mama just call me out my name? Ooh, that's a female dog. Mama must be insane. Did my grandma talk to her this way? I don't even know, but I must leave today. I kind of had a tendency of running away whenever I didn't want to hear my mama's mouth. I'd always end up at my dad's house. But eventually, I'd have to go back, especially if school was in. Shauna wasn't having that. Plus, I'd miss my little sister. She kind of looked up to me. It's crazy, because some of what my bigger siblings did to me, she said I did the same thing. I may have been a little mean, but not purposely the way she thinks. Yeah, I respected my mom, though. She tried to stay on me about my schoolwork, but she wasn't really a PTA mom. She didn't like to miss work, and I really didn't mind that. As I remember services being interrupted, she did the best she knew how, though things were still a bit corrupted. Before I could even take it all in, I'd be turning 14, thinking, wow, 13 wasn't really all I thought it would be. Here come my mama, cake and ice cream. Here's to another win without the team. Because after my younger wonder years, there were no more parties for me. I guess I was a big girl now. And soon, I'd be losing my virginity. 3 too many play dates and too much curiosity. Even experimented with another girl and gave up because she was more advanced than me. Yep. Strap on your seatbelts, y'all. Let's get a load of 14. My mom and I, we always got through most of our spats. I'd have to listen to her rip me apart, and I dare not talk back. But it was cool. I was no fool, because she had already acquainted me with belts, switches, and shoes, as she should have. I mean, I wasn't the best child, but I wasn't the worst either. Like, I still had my light at this point, still knew I was meant to be here. Being called bitches and sluts by my mom, I still knew I was blessed. I still knew I was strong. I still had faith in God. I was still holding on. They said I wouldn't make it. They said I wouldn't be here today. But I'm glad to say that I'm on my way. And I'm growing more and more each day. That's Luther Barnes and the Redbud Choir. Singing always got me through. You would think it was required. My dad said me and my mom were just alike, and that's why we bumped heads. It'd be years before I understood what that even meant. I had never bumped heads with my mama per se, but I knew it all makes sense someday. Me and my mom was gonna be all right, though. We'd never be tight. We'd still be thick as thieves, with her wrong or right. When it was good, it was great. And when it was bad, we made a way. My period had started. She put me on birth control. For some reason, I thought that made us closer, but I really didn't know. Because when my mom was happy, then baby, look around, because the house must be clean. She must got some money in her wallet, and those were her happy things. Sometimes I knew how to keep her in her happy place, making sure chores were done so she didn't have to get in my face, making sure no teachers called for me skipping class that day. See, me and Shauna didn't have the typical mother-daughter relationship. No hugs or I love yous. My mama was about action, though. I guess grandma wasn't too verbal. I don't know. It's adult me that understands that part now. Mama was just doing the best she knew how, working with the tools that she was given. Because even when times were rough, she made sure we was living. Even if we had to light a few candles, it was just a matter of time before business was handled. My mom looked out for me and she took care of most things. I remember she bought me my first pair of Daisy Dukes. And man, my dad didn't like that. He was always side-eyeing teenage me. And baby, don't let him find no shorts in his laundry. Because sometimes I left my clothes behind and he would wash my things and he'd see some things. I was growing up and only a dad would hate what that mean. First man to talk to me about my hygiene. But daddy ain't have nothing to worry about. He was still my main guy. But since I was getting older, it was only right I be at my mom's house. In my dad's eyes, I was to always be his little girl. Little did he know, puberty would rock my world. But I was a good girl. I was content with my boyfriend. Leave it to my mom, I was with him, and him. Rumors around the neighborhood, but I wasn't one of them. Let's just say I liked a lot of boys, but sex was never the intention. But I'm sure I was naive. I would never imagine that that would be all that they wanted from me. See, my mom always had a boyfriend, so I thought that's how it should be. No sleeping around, no one-night stands, no flings. She'd always introduce me to her boyfriends, but she'd say friend like I didn't know what it mean. And all of them seemed to be nice guys, except for this one guy, must have been in disguise. A spinoff from what I thought she was used to. He came with tools and things and Wrangler jeans and dirty boots. So I guess that means he works hard and maybe he makes my mama happy. Because that's the only way he was getting full-course meals and able to drink my mama's Pepsi. Because don't touch her soda, especially her Mountain Dew. But yeah, you get it. Mister kept on coming through. Seemed like he moved in overnight. Though he did have his own place. Sometimes we go there and stay the night. Never really liked it there. I think it was a basement. The smell just wasn't right. I would have rather been in my own room, where I wish I was on this particular night. At my mom's house. I decided to sleep on the couch. And this was one of their club nights, so they both went out. But I didn't know they're coming back alone. Why is he back alone? Why does he have a key to my mom's home? Where is my mama? What's going on? As I laid there, with my eyes facing the pillows of the couch, he proceeds to lay behind me. Okay. I got a scarf on my head. Maybe he doesn't recognize me. So even though it was dark, I turned my face upwards in hopes of giving him a good view of the 14-year-old child that he was laying next to. But he didn't move. He proceeded to rub on my breast with the smell of alcohol jumping off his breath. This monster just saw my face, and he's still laying here. I jumped up and I ran to the bathroom in fear. And I just sat there for I don't know how long. Where is my mama? Why is she not here? Why is he doing this? Doesn't he know that it's me? Oh my God, I'm not even near a phone. Why is this happening? I came up with a plan to go in my mom's room. Because he was in the living room. I didn't know where she was, but I assumed she'd be home soon. I told myself to leave the bathroom light on because the way the house was made, I knew that soon as I walked out, he would get a good look at my face and that he'd see it was me and he'd get the hell out of my space, but it didn't happen that way. I darted to my mom's room and I shut the door and I laid on the bed. This monster walked right in, nodding his head. He had a nerve to ask me how much I would charge. I pretended to be dumb. My exact words: I ain't charging you for nothing, 'cause ain't nothing gonna be done. My soul was shivering at this point. Where the fuck is my mom? A wolf in sheep's clothing. He sat right on the edge of the bed, reeking of alcohol. He turned to me and said, "Hope you don't think about telling your mama, 'cause who you think she gonna believe, me or you?" I remember sarcastically saying, "I don't care who she believes, but you need to get out of this room." I had my own room, but I felt safer in the front of the house when my mom was gone. And he ain't always stay there. Sometimes she put him out. He left on his own that night. When I woke up, my mom was asleep in the living room. I remember standing over her, watching her sleep. "Who you think she gonna believe, me or you?" I heard his voice in my head. I went on to my room. I didn't know what to do. And why? Why did she have to wake up in a good mood? Okay, maybe it's too soon. "Who you think she gonna believe, me or you?" I thought back to when I was 10. Oh God, something bad's gonna happen. I can't tell. My dad, he'll find out, he'll end up in jail. My little sister won't have a dad, even though he's not her real. It was so much at stake. I didn't know what to feel back then. And I knew my mom really liked him, so I just became even better at acting. Holding it all in and writing it all down. Scared and confused, I acted in, I acted out. I remember the first poem I wrote. It was called "Let Me Cry." I lost most of the stuff I wrote back then, but this one never left my mind. It went, "Let me cry. Just let me be. Don't try to feel my pain or be sorry for me. Don't even say you're sorry. It won't soothe my soul. Besides, it's not your feelings that I want to control. And if you should see me walking down the street with a puddle of tears beneath my feet, don't stop what you're doing to ask me what's wrong. It's at times like these that I need to be alone. So whenever you hear that I'm shedding a tear, stay where you are. Don't bother to come near. Let me cry. Just let me be. It'll make me better to know that you're happy." People always tried to hide things in my family. Never heard the whole truth about anything, like they was holding on to some type of power. I remember when my dad got shot, they wanted me to believe that he fell in the shower. And my dad knew I was too smart for that. I got to asking questions and he got to confessing how some guy came in and busted a cap. He ain't tell me why, just another half-truth. I don't know what they were trying to teach me, but I learned that daddies weren't bulletproof. And people around here, they don't like telling the truth. And if I'm the pudding, then they must be the proof. This is not the conclusion to part 2. Stay tuned.
So,
Now you see why I couldn't give you all of it. Part two is a bit dramatic for me, but it's necessary. Um, don't forget to like and subscribe. Stay with me. Blessings.